I kind of got like a bit of a chuckle when I saw this news drop just the other day. The headline, obviously, Terrifier 4, Damien Leone promises Art's backstory in the first 15 minutes. I'm like, dude, that's all you're going to give us for Art's backstory is 15 minutes when you make these movies that are like over 2 hours long, that all they are is like excruciatingly painful, prolonged gore scenes. So kind of had cracked up a little bit over that. I feel like maybe 15 minutes is enough. Although they could have peppered that in throughout all of these movies, and then you wouldn't have to do... Hopefully it doesn't come across as too exposition dump-esque, but let's go ahead and read this one here. This is, of course, John Squires. Says, we've seen Art the Clown do a whole lot of killing across 3 movies in Damien Leone's gory Terrifier franchise, but we still know very little about the character and how he came to be the nightmare he is today. Leone had recently promised that the upcoming Terrifier 4, however, will, quote, finally reveal Art's origin, unquote. And he's doubling down on that promise this week. In a quick video chat with popular content creator Chris Parker, over at 3C Films on YouTube, Leone reveals that Terrifier 4 will dish out Art's backstory right at the beginning of the film. Leone says, quote, I know this word gets used a lot, but it's going to be epic. It's not going to disappoint. You're going to get Art's backstory in the first 15 minutes of the movie. The interview with Leone was conducted at Texas Frightmare Weekend earlier this month, and you can check it out. You can check out Chris Parker's full coverage of the event in the video embedded down below. So, yeah, we don't need to. You guys can check it out. I'm sure you guys all know who Chris Parker is over at 3C. If you're watching the Davey Death Ray channel, I would imagine you watch Chris as well. So, yeah, you can check out that video if you would like over there. But guys, what do you think about this? Do you think, I mean, I figured we'd have to get something about Art that was like a bit more substantial in Terrifier 4. I'm kind of hoping Terrifier 4 is like a definitive end to the franchise. So yeah, getting Art's backstory. I also want to see when he says epic, I don't want just Art's backstory to be epic. Like I want the whole movie to be epic. I want to see like angels and demons fighting, essentially. So maybe my hopes are way too high for Terrifier 4. But what do you guys think about this? Finally getting Art's backstory. I feel like, without spoiling anything, if you haven't seen Terrifier 3, I feel like in a sense, even though Art is very much part of the story, I feel like in the last act of the film, he kind of gets like put to the side because it seems like there's a different big bad that's kind of taking over in Terrifier. Again, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it's a character we've seen before, and in Terrifier 3, I felt like they became like the lead bad guy, and Art felt more of like, I don't know, just like he's like a lackey, like kind of killing for fun. But let's see what you guys say. Holy cow, the super chats are just like popping off here. Dean Renner drops a $1.99, says, found it. Jigsaw drops a $2 and says, there you go. Jigsaw, another $2. Oops, I did it again. Denise Wheat, $1.99. Loved the thumbnail for the live. Thank you so much, Denise. Yeah, I didn't know about that. I was like, people aren't going to think I actually dress like this. I just did that as a character, like a little photo shoot kind of thing, and thought that it was fitting with the movie news. So, holy cow, you guys, we have reached the super chat goal. So you guys are going to get a Final Destinations or Final Destination franchise ranking. So I will shoot that. I'll shoot it later on tonight. I'll build my ranking. I'll shoot it later on this evening. Those rankings, what, with 6 films, I would expect that video would maybe be 8 minutes or something like that. So it's not going to be anything too epic. I'll talk a little bit about each movie as I go through there. Let me give these super chats little hearts here. Why the heck not? So yeah, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that. I am going to have to think about it because when it comes to where to put Bloodlines, I am like, where? I don't know. I feel like it's in the top tier, but where in the top tier does it fit? I don't know. But let me see what you guys are saying about Terrifier. Brett says, shout out to Final Destination breaking 200 million. It is great for horror. And more Just more evidence that shows that horror is keeping Hollywood afloat. Todd says no more Terrifier, please. We're getting at least one more, Todd. At least one more. Nerd Girly 2K says, what about Pennywise? Oh, I see what you're doing there. Yeah. No one can replace Pennywise there for you. 4 is supposed to be the end, says Dean, but after it makes money, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, who knows where these characters could end up after that. Unpopular take, but I can't stand the Terrifier movies. Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know if it's that I can't stand them. They're definitely not my cup of tea, Todd. I'm not so much into splatter and the exploitative stuff as much as I am in just like, I love a good slasher movie. I don't need every kill in a slasher to be like the craziest thing, though. Brett says it would be great to keep art mysterious, but it's hard to do that after a number of sequels. Well, and I think the thing about it is they've teased that he does have some sort of connection. They've teased this greater connection, this that there is something to tell, that there are answers to the mystery, and that maybe there's a connection with Sienna. I think, Sienna's father, it seems like he had this ability for the things that the characters he created and drew, that those characters would come to life. And I'm wondering, because he drew Sienna in the angel outfit and gave the character these superpowers that it seems like Sienna has with that, with the dagger that she's got, or the sword. I don't know what would it be considered. I don't even know. I don't know when it stops becoming a dagger and when it starts becoming a sword. I would imagine it would be length of blade. Anyways, so I'm wondering if Art is a character that the father created, and that's why Art is in this world. So we'll see. But also I like the idea of him just like literally being from hell. Like, it could be as simple as that. Blu-ray says, I'm looking forward to Terrifier 4. I love 2 and 3. I think 3 is the best one so far, for sure. Ashton says 4 will either be the end of the franchise or the end of Sienna's arc. There you go.